Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Joe Biden, whatever you want to call him, is in a lot of trouble right now. His approval rating is just tanking absolutely. And again, he's losing to Donald Trump in every single U.S. region except for one. And this is what we call buyer's remorse. This is what we call regret. And it is surmounting for Joe Biden. This is what happens when you vote for a candidate because he's not the other guy. Guess what happens? You get bit and you don't like them. We see inflation through the roof, gas prices through the roof. You saw the debacle, American troops left overseas in Afghanistan. People are looking at this guy and they see a lack of leadership. And they don't like it, honestly. And Biden hasn't really gotten anything done because there's a lot of infighting going on within even his own party. And he's on track to be decimated in the midterms, and he's not going to get anything done past that, to the point where it's looking like this presidency is just a total unmitigated disaster. And it seems like the only way to mitigate it is to elect Donald Trump in 2024 and get Biden out of here, which, by the way, he's going to be the nominee. They know that Kamala Harris is incapable of beating a rock in a general election. They may not say it, but deep down, they believe it. Trust me. And a lot of these polls that come out that show Trump like tied with Biden have him beating Harris by like 5 to 10 points. And there are a lot of undecided voters in these polls that also disapprove of Biden. And also it's important to note that a lot of these polls underestimated Donald Trump in both 2016 and 2020. So this poll, dead statistical heat, Trump within one of the popular vote to Joe Biden. But what do we know about this? We know that Donald Trump typically outperforms the polling for one, and for two, Biden can win the popular vote by 4+ points and still lose in the Electoral College. Again, he won the popular vote by 4.5%. Just 43,000 votes across 3 swing states. If just 20,000 people changed their minds, Donald Trump would have been president. So true. And you look at this and you could see that it shows that since September, Trump has actually gained. Biden was up by almost 4 in the popular vote. Still not good enough for Biden. Now he's up by 1. And there have been many polls that have shown it a lot worse for Biden that have come out. But what's notable here is that when you look at it by region, Trump is up in the Midwest, which is the bellwether region. He is up in the South, which is expected. He's also up in the West, where California, Oregon, and Washington carry so much weight of the population, which is very surprising. But Biden only leads Trump in the Northeast, which is a region that not only Biden is technically from, but also has a lot of Democrat areas like Boston, New York City. I mean, the only Republican areas in the Northeast are New Hampshire and Maine's 2nd District. And New Hampshire's 50-50, actually leans more Democrat. Maine's 2nd's the only Republican electoral vote up there. I mean, depending on if you want to count Pennsylvania or not. I mean, eastern Pennsylvania is technically northeastern, but it's more liberal, you could say. But it's important to take this into consideration that Biden is losing support everywhere. Donald Trump is up to almost 40% with Hispanic voters. And I think we're going to see what happens in the elections this year. I think that if both of the elections that we see, New Jersey and Virginia, are relatively close or closer than expected, and or if Youngkin wins, it's definitely going to be a massive wake-up call because the momentum is going to carry Republicans to victory in 2022. And we know this, and Biden's approval rating is awful right now. It's so bad. It's worse than every recent president except one at this stage, and that was because of Donald Trump's low point when it came to dealing with North Korea, and that was instantly rectified. How is Biden going to rectify this inflation with all the other blunders and all the cringe? He can't do it. He's not going to be able to. It's going to take a miracle for him to correct this trajectory. I mean, you look at this. He's down by 10 points in the aggregate, and a lot of these polls, like I said, underestimated Donald Trump in 2016 and 2020. So right now you see this. He's down in the aggregate by probably by the time this video comes out, it's going to be disapprove plus 10. I mean, this is embarrassing for Joe Biden right now. This is just awful. And some of these polls are even adults and registered voters, a lot of them, which that means it's only going to be worse for him, especially ahead of the 2022 midterms that we're going to see here. If Biden's approval rating stays under by 10 points, you're going to have a reverse 2018 take place in 2022. And like I said, Biden had a very, very small margin for error when it came to his presidency, when it came to his ability to beat Trump in the first place. I mean, you look at this map right here, and you understand that there were just 3 states that were decided by 43,000 quote-unquote votes, right? I mean, if just a very slim percentage of people changed their mind, it would have altered the outcome of the election to the point where Biden has no margin for error. Even if he holds Georgia and if he holds Arizona, if Republicans are able to win Pennsylvania and Nevada, 2 right-leaning states which just ever so narrowly went for Joe Biden, even though Trump led in the states early on, then Biden obviously would not be able to win re-election. And these states and the swing states disapprove of him significantly. I can guarantee you if the election was today, Donald Trump would have won in the state of Michigan because Biden's approval has dipped significantly there more than it has pretty much anywhere else. And that's why you see in the Midwest, his approval has dipped so much to the point where in the whole region, which is roughly a swing area, he's underwater in it. He's underwater to Donald Trump in a potential matchup. And for all those that are going to be out there that say, well, Trump, we need to move on from Trump, Trump is, he laid a foundation, but we need to move on. Like, yeah, eventually you're right. We have to move on eventually. The guy's not going to be able to live forever. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm attached to Trump forever, but I will say that people that want to replace him with somebody like Ron DeSantis are just playing into the establishment hands because that's what they want. They want their hybrid candidate, their Trump-Romney robotic hybrid that will listen to the focus groups that just tell him to copy Trump's hand motions and try to copy his voice and do it in a way that comes off so inauthentic to the point where it's probably not going to work out in the Midwest. It's probably not. And this is one of the reasons why I think Trump is the best candidate, is because he can actually win in the Midwest. I don't really think DeSantis would do as well as Trump in the Midwest. The Sun Belt, I think he would. That's where, like I said, the Romney part comes in. DeSantis is a good governor, but I'm just saying when it comes to president, I don't think that he's as electable as Donald Trump. I really don't. Like I said, it's a regional thing. The Midwest, very big on outsiders. If you're going to find another based national populist outsider, be my guest. But until that day comes ahead of 2024, Trump is going to be the guy, mainly because he's going to run. He's going to get the nomination by default because he has a lot of people who are very loyal to him for better or worse in the Republican Party. And ahead of 2024, it seems as if he's going to be that guy to get the nomination. So we'll see what happens between now and then. But what we do know is that Joe Biden's approval rating is tanking, and it's leading down the groundwork for Donald Trump. There's going to be all these people that say, well, it doesn't matter if Biden's approval rating is in the toilet. The Democrats are going to come out in full force against Donald Trump. They can't even do that in a place like Virginia. Virginia is competitive with a fairly right-leaning candidate. They didn't run Kirk Cox. A lot of these people that talk like this probably wanted Kirk Cox to be the Virginia nominee. They wanted probably some like super Rockefeller type to be the guy in New Jersey. But even with fairly solid conservative candidates for the most part, I mean, I know the New Jersey candidate has distanced himself from Trump a little bit, but you have fairly conservative candidates in Virginia and New Jersey. These are the people giving the Democrats a run for their money. Okay, this is what people don't really take into consideration. Energy matters. It absolutely does. Energy matters. And Donald Trump will bring the energy. In terms of the opposition energy, it's not going to be as high as it was in 2020, mainly because Biden has been such a train wreck. I mean, he's always going to have people that will crawl over broken glass to vote for him, but even the same polls that had Donald Trump losing by a wider margin in 2016 and 2020 in terms of the popular vote show him beating Joe Biden in the popular vote. This poll is really the exception, but even this poll has it within the margin of error. So as we can see, it's going to go down the wire in 2024 no matter who the nominee is. But what I will say is that we have to run or we have to cave into the establishment and put up some guy who you think is going to be good, but that's going to go out there and lay a goose egg in the Midwestern swing states. You got to be out of your mind. You got to think rationally here. So it comes down to electability. Trump's messaging needs to improve, obviously. He could beat Biden by a lot more than what this poll's showing, and I think that he can improve his messaging. It's already improving if you've watched his past rallies, which a lot of people really don't, or they just pick it apart. But it is what it is, beside the point. But what I will say is that Biden's approval rating, it's in the gutter. This is good news. And it's likely to be Donald Trump who's going to come along in about 3 years from now and say, Joe, you're fired, you're done. And it's so true. And it's going to be glorious to see the revenge tour commence. So as anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.